Welcome everyone, Farmer Cop here. This is going to be a test video to test a couple of things out with pigs. So I think one of the big questions with pigs is, well, one is when is the best time to sell them? And then I think another big question is it actually worth doing the pigs? Or should you just sell your crops yourself? Or can you actually make money off of the pigs if you buy pig food and feed them with pig food? So I'm going to test that today. Now, obviously, there's mods out there that make pigs more efficient, such as mods that allow different ratios for pig feed and stuff like that. I can't test every possibility. We're just going to use base game kind of functions here. So the first test we're going to run is to see when the best time to sell them is. So in each one of these, I have one of each of the pigs. I bought them. So if you go up to let's just go up to one of these pins here. So if you go up to a pen, you have the German Landress, and you can buy them at 0 months, and you can also buy them at age 6 months. Same with the Bethlehem Black Pied and the Berkshire. So I bought all the ones at 0 months. Which their cost $200 to buy, and they're all valued at 40 right now, as you can see in here. So a couple things with the test up there in the upper right-hand corner, you can see the time is set to 0. I will fast forward time to exactly 8 o'clock every day, and that's when I'm going to record the price. So right now it's 8 o'clock. Nothing's happened. It hasn't been 24 hours. So in 24 hours, I will check it, and we'll see. Now, in order to check everything, what I am going to do for every one of these, they're going to have everything they need. So for the pigsties, they are going to be full of straw and full of all their food types. And now for the pig pasture, they're going to be full of water and all their food types. So that's just the way I'm going to do it to make sure that I can just show that they have everything they need. Obviously, the ratios or how much they're going to be worth after a certain amount of time might vary depending on this in here. So might depend on if you're only paying them the base food or whatever the case may be. So yeah, and if you don't know how to raise pigs, I do have a tutorial video on just how to raise pigs and how to deal with them. If you don't know anything about them, go watch that video first to get some basic information. I'll have a card pop up on the screen right now. But otherwise, let's go ahead and test some pigs. So I'm going to run the first test, and then I'll bring you guys back in after that. All right, test 1 is complete. And I also should note on this test, too, you actually don't have to provide straw. It shouldn't affect the health at all, if I remember correctly from my original video on pigs. It's just if you want more manure versus slurry. These ones obviously don't have any manure on them because if you remember, also you have to put down emitter containers. You have to put, oh no, it's not silo extensions. You have to put down the manure heap extension. That way it can tie to one of these, and then manure will go into there over time. So you want one of those nearby if you're going to do manure. If not, you're just going to get slurry from them. And if you want more slurry, don't put any straw in there, and you'll be good to go. But it shouldn't affect the health of the animal. So let's take a look at the actual results here. Very interesting. So if we pull over to, let me get my screen pulled up here for you. So on this screen, this has the chart I kind of came up with. So you can see on here, we have the months over here on the left-hand side of how many months. So then we have the 3 pigs, and actually they're all identical all the way through the test. So it doesn't matter what pig you go with. They're all going to have the same results in terms of when you're going to be wanting to sell them and how fast they go up and everything like that. So obviously at 0 months, they're worth $40. Well, we bought them for $80. So technically speaking, by buying them, we lost $40 in the first month, which that makes sense. This does not include transport as well. So that's if you transport them yourselves. There's no transport fee included. So you have to take into account that as well, which if I remember correctly, let me just look real quick. The transport fee, I believe, is $30 a pig. And it might actually vary. Yeah, so it does depending on that. So a full-grown pig is going to sell, or you're going to need $50 to transport, $30 for a newborn. And actually, I was completely wrong on the price. We paid $200 for these guys right off the bat. So I actually should note that out here. Let me change that. I thought it was 80, but I was completely wrong. So there, my chart should change now right there. And then this also is negative. So we're still down 55 from the start. Though I did want the change in there. So actually that one technically did go up quite a bit. Well, no, because it's from this. So yeah, we still lost $55. 46 is up. So actually it's still not technically up. So this one I'm actually going to change as well. This one is going to equal this minus this guy over here. If we see that, we're at negative $9 here. So now we're actually starting. And then the change here, this one is going to, so this one's actually not going to be 46 either. It's going to equal this minus this. And that's going to be a $37 change. Now that one actually is accurate because we're going, now that we're at 237, that is a change up. So this is much more accurate. There we go. Okay. So before you actually start making any profit, you have to have them for at least 3 months to make any profits. You're feeding them through there. Then just going up by $46 to $45 a month, depending on the month. That one's 45. I think that's actually only 45 in there. Now, if you buy them at 0 months, like I did for $200, down here at the very bottom, and again, it's a $20 transfer fee, or $30 transport fee. At 9 months, they're going to produce their first newborn. Each of them produced a newborn, and then every 4 months after that. So going all the way down, each of these blue lines is reproduction. So we get 1 here, 2, 3, 4, or excuse me, 4 and 5. So we have 5 total reproduced. And up here at 24 months, 24 months is when they are maxed out. They're not going to get any more valuable than $1,200. Then you can see they top out. But I actually recommend selling them at 25 months because you get an extra pig here because they're going to reproduce one more time. Then this is where you should sell the adults, and then you should start raising all the other ones. So if you do this appropriately, it's actually going to be, and I'm going to try to figure out how I'm going to calculate this, because obviously when we talk about profit for how much we're making from here all the way up to here, when I do the next test, which is going to be the profit test here, I need to be able to calculate how much we're making off of not only the change in the value of the pig, which is quite a bit, from $200 to $1,200, so we make $1,000 a pig overall when we sell them, as long as that pays for the food and everything. And then we also get 5 new pigs, so I need to calculate that into the revenue as well to kind of try to determine how we're going to keep track of that. And this actually is a different blue. I'm just noticing that now. So let's put that in the same blue. That way it doesn't bother me. But yeah, and if you guys want access to this chart, it'll be down below in the description, link down there. I'm going to go ahead and, well, I'm going to try to run a profit test here. So if we go actually back to our game over here, what I'm going to do is run a profit test. And what I know now is, since it doesn't change based on the pasture or anything like that, I'm just going to use one of the barns to run this test here. I might run the test a couple of different ways, we'll see, but I'm only going to use one type of pig, and I'm going to use one of the barns here. So that's how we're going to work with it. I don't need the pasture, I don't need to provide them water. It should be everything they need if I do it that way. So I'm going to figure out how I'm going to run this test and see what one's most profitable. I'm going to come up with a couple of ways I'm going to do it here, and maybe test it a few different ways and see kind of how we go from there. So that's kind of my plan right now. I will bring you guys back in shortly, and we will kind of discuss the results of, well, how much are you actually making off your pigs, and is it worth it to do pigs? So I'll run that test and I'll bring you guys back in. All right, my test is done. So kind of an interesting result, and I think I came up with the best way to go about this test. So this test is if you are playing in normal economy mode, excuse me. If you're playing in hard economy, you actually will make, or you should make, more money, because the pigs should be a steady cost. Because if you look in here, to buy pigs, boom, they're $205.25. Now, if we go in here and we actually change the settings to economic difficulty hard, I believe $205.25. They're still the same price to buy. So they still should max out and everything like that. So economy mode shouldn't affect it. I did this in normal economy because I know most of you guys play in normal economy. If you play in easy economy, this is not going to go well for you. You should not do pigs. You're going to lose money. If you're playing on hard economy, you're going to make pretty good money. If you're playing on normal economy, you're still going to make money. And I'll show you that. So the way I did the test is I ran three different pig pens here, one with each breed, each of the breeds in each one just sitting in there, was one. And I calculated the cost of the feed, or how much feed I actually should say. I calculated how much feed the pigs ate each day as they were growing up for each breed. Now, it was the same for all of them. I figured it probably would be, but I wanted to make sure. So all the pigs require the same amount of feed. And if we look in here, their health is at 100%, and I never gave them any straw. Now, we also have some slurry in here. I did not calculate the slurry into the profit. It's not very much there. 1,600 liters of slurry is going to sell for maybe $100, if that. So you're not going to make a lot of money off that. That's just in there. It's extra fertilizer if you want to use it for your field, so there's that. So that's how I ran the test. I wanted to see what the cost was. So if we actually go over to what I have discovered here, well, obviously you guys have seen this one. If I go down here to my profit sheet, we'll go back up to the top here. So pig's profit cost sheet, what I did here. So going across what I did, I calculated, so obviously 0 months, nothing's happening. They don't require any feed the first day. So by the time the second day went around, I calculated how much feed they'd eaten. They'd eaten either 9 liters of pig food, or here was each of the individual ones. Now, you will notice sometimes, too, if you actually add these up down through here, they will not always add up to the exact amount of pig feed. So this is overall total feed. So if you're feeding them with pig feed, this is how much pig feed they would eat, and this is how much of each category they'd eat each day. Sometimes they're about a liter off if you add up the totals. That's because they're eating partial liters, and it doesn't show me the partial liters, but the game does keep track of partial liters. On here on the right side, we have the upkeep per day. Now, this one I didn't actually include into the cost or the profit, because this isn't going to be per one pig. This is for your whole barn. It's about $100 a day. And then this extra on the top is going to be the water for the barn for what the pigs are consuming. That's going to be the water that they're using right there, which if you don't want to pay for water, which it's not very much anyways, as you can note, it might be over the course of the pigs. This might be, you know, $50 worth of water, if that, by the end of it. Now, if we go down here, I did notice they topped out after about 7 months. So 7 months and on, they ate the same thing every day. And even after they hit 25, which is where we're going to sell them, they continue to do that. So at 24, that's where they hit their max weight. That's where they hit their max weight. But I recommend selling them at 25 because we get an extra $88 here because we get to sell another pig. We get another pig. So we get 5 pigs at $440 total. And then we obviously make $1,000 because we bought them at $200 and we're selling them for now $1,200. So it's $1,000 profit. That's not including a delivery fee. If you do deliver them, you're going to lose $80 here, but it still should work out fine in the end. So now if we come down here, this is how much total at 25. So I didn't include this. This is not added in there. So if you sold them at 25, how much food would they have consumed? 1,328 liters of pig food, or 660 liters of base food, 329 here, 268.69 of the different types of food. And that's the base, grain, protein, and root. Now at the bottom here, I have pig food at $900 because if you go in the store, you can either buy it in big bags, which is right here, or you can buy it in kind of the big bag pallets, which is $1,000 instead of $900. So I would recommend buying it $900, obviously, because it's cheaper. And then we have the different options for base food, for grains, for proteins, and then for root crops. And then these are their prices. Kind of a kind of an average price for them in normal economy mode. So I figured that was kind of a reasonable price to put in there. Now, if you do end up using this spreadsheet here, you can change the price. So this is 607, but if you watch all my numbers, if I change this to 10,000, this bumps up this, how much is here, and then obviously over here and all that stuff. So it'll change it, but obviously I'm gonna put it back at 607. So if you wanted to enter different prices in any of these, the equations are there for the most part. So if we go over here to, well, let's actually look down here. So down here at the bottom, this is the cheapest run. So if you use the cheapest products, so corn, barley, canola, and sugar beets, if those are the products you're feeding them, these are the costs for one pig. That's how much in each cost or each food type it's going to use for total. Now, if you use the most expensive feed down here, so you use sorghum, wheat, soy, and potatoes, which is down here, that is the cost per pig. And that is shown over here. So if we use pig food at $900 per 1,000 liters, and that's 1,300 liters of it at $13.28. It's going to cost you $11.95.20. If we use the cheapest combination here, it's going to cost you $9.41 to feed each pig for 25 months. And then if we use the most expensive version, it's cost you $1,100. So still, if you use the most expensive of everything, now obviously if you use a different combo of anything in here, it might change these prices, but it'll be in between $9.41 and $1,100, so somewhere in that range. So that's why I did the range, the most expensive and the least expensive. Obviously, I recommend doing this because you're going to make the most money. And then pig food's still going to be more money, even if you're feeding them all the most expensive crops that you have. Now, if we go down here, obviously those are a profit here, so no big deal there. Now, if you sell the pig, if you feed them just pig food and then you sell the pig after 25 months and you sell all of their baby pigs as they are born, so that's the other key thing here. Obviously, you don't have to do that. You actually can make more money if you let these guys grow up, but this is just the kind of if you sold them right away, just because it would be too much of a test for me to try to follow all these different pigs and where they're doing and how much food you're feeding them. So this is obviously you're not feeding these pigs really at all. They will take a little food if you wait till the next day to sell them. So that is not included in here. These are not including the little bit of food that they eat. That's just what the pig that you're going to focus on is eating there. Hopefully this all makes sense too. I know I'm kind of rambling, but I'm trying to get it all out there and hopefully in a way that makes sense to you guys. So yeah, cost at 25 months. Those are the costs for the different categories. So this is your income per pig if you're selling the babies right away and you're making $1,000 off the weight, which you would if you wait till 25. And then down here, here's your profit if you feed them pig food, $244 per pig after just over 2 years, because 25 months. If you feed them the cheapest versions of the food that you can, you're going to make $498 per pig, and then expensive, you're going to make $332 per pig. Now, obviously, if you're playing in hard economy mode and these prices are cheaper, you can make quite a bit more, because no matter what economy mode you play on, this stays the same. So that's a constant. If you're playing on easy mode, this is going to really suck for you. If you're on easy mode, you should only use pig food to feed them, because these ones are going to be way different, because you can make way more money if you sell your crops just directly to the sell point. So that's what we're kind of looking at here, is not you buying these materials, but you selling them instead of feeding them to your pigs. Is it worth it to do pigs instead? So there we go. I know that was a lot of information for you guys. I hope that made sense. I will again put a link to this down below. You will not be able to edit that link now that I'm thinking about it because it's my Google spreadsheet, but you should be able to hopefully download it and copy it and make it somehow your own. You should be able to do that if I allow you guys to share it. If a view-only copy, you should be able to download it. But obviously, I can't let you guys edit it because then all my data will get skewed by what you guys are entering, and then what you guys are entering for each other will all get skewed and everything like that. But regardless of that, hopefully this test was helpful. If it was, please drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button up on the screen to join the Farmer Cop channel and turn your notification bell so you don't miss any future videos I may post. This has been Farmer Cop. Thank you guys for coming and for watching.